So good morning, everyone. I'm Beth Berry. I'm Vice President of Business Development at Real Green. Today, I got my good buddy, Brian Bacigalupo, with me today. We haven't seen each other in, I don't know, a couple of months. But the Real Green team gets to do a daily stand-up at 8:30, so we catch up that way. And then one of the things you did, like on week 2, was set up our Friday happy hours. Thank you for doing that, because that has been a lot of fun, and you've upped your game with fun things to do. The last 2 Fridays, I actually had social events, if you will, but I'll be there today, and I can't wait. So thanks for doing that. It gives everybody a reason to think, what am I going to bring to happy hour today? So
Absolutely.
tell us about your new role. Congratulations on your promotion. Well deserved. Tell us what about the promotion this year, because that got caught up in COVID. Tell us what the team is doing, the sales team is doing during quarantine, and how that's impacted Real Green sales.
Well, how it's my role basically can start off. I was promoted to VP of Sales from Director of Sales. My team size has increased tremendously. Last year at this time, I had 4 sales reps and a couple CSRs. Now we have 3 different tiers of sales reps, and we have 16 of them, from BDRs to account managers and to our sales execs. We've established 3 team leads within. Most people know Brian Warwick. He is going to be my team lead of sales executives. Greg Woodbury, he's been with us in the past. He's now back with us. I actually lean on him for a lot of system analysis. He's my account manager lead that'll be working closely with the customers. And Andrew Tracy, the BDRs. Andrew's team helped out tremendously right out of the gates when we broke off into COVID, helping customers, doing a lot of outreach projects, legislation projects, especially in Michigan. And we lean on his team a lot that are being very successful. All teams are now starting to mend together. And, our biggest goal is, to demonstrate the value of our products and services to help our customers grow, achieve operational efficiency as much as we can. So we're trying to reach out to customers, trying to communicate with them, show them the tools, and that's what my team is responsible for at this time right now.
Have you ever seen The Office?
Yes.
I'm not very hip.
Not the last 2 months.
My daughter keeps it on loop, but I've never seen it before because I'm not very hip and I only watch sports. But I love it. Michael Scott, when he's going through the financial papers, he looks at the CFO and always goes, talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. So talk to us like we're 5-year-olds in terms of, you and I are practitioners. We worked in green industry companies, and I think that what you and I and others have brought to Real Green makes it real. Because when we sit down with folks, we go, I can say, yeah, I ran 42 call centers in lawn care, and you have years and years of experience, including landscape. You're one of the few folks at Real Green that have worked in landscape. But B2C marketing and sales has traditionally been a bit different. And even in terms of when you and I were working side by side in sales, you say BDR. So tell us about how your team is structured now and why it's a little bit different for a B2B.
Great question. BDRs is our business development reps, and they're on the front lines of our team. We've always had BDRs, but they focused on other items, and now it's across the board, our sales. It's going to go across the board of helping us get digital prospects to leads, software. It'll be for print as well, and pretty much anything that Real Green has to offer to our customers, you may talk to a BDR about that particular product at one time, and they'll direct you to the person who would help you achieve what you're trying to achieve with that product.
How's Salesforce going? We've layered in a little bit of Salesforce. What do you think of that?
Salesforce is going really well with my team. We still use our service assistant, the Q. Every day I'm on SA5. My team is on SA5, but we do use Salesforce for our sales for software. We've always used Service Assistant, a lawn care software to run a software business, but we are pivoting into Salesforce and also Sales Loft. Greg Woodbury has really taken the bull by the horns and really has looked at SalesLoft in a lot of different lights, setting up cadences. But Salesforce is going to help us with our outreach to our customers. All of our data is going to start coming out of there. We're going to be set at calling customers, asking them, and we've already done it once, we'll be doing it again, asking them whose role it is for this particular area. It might be a production manager, it could be an office manager, or it could be the owner. Our communications out to our customers are going to be changing quite rapidly. It could be a video, it could be just a communication like what we're going through, Beth, with COVID, that we set up the Helping Our Customers Committee. We were wanting to reach the right people at their companies, and that's why we need to really establish the roles for our outreach to our customers. So people, you may be getting a call from a BDR. We're just trying to update our information so we're talking to the right person in your company.
It's been frustrating for 6 years. And by the way, thank you for leading. And we called it Helping Our Customers because when all this started, I can remember I got back about March 6th and Bill Noonan goes, yeah, I think we're going to start working from home, which you and I do occasionally anyway. But I thought, well, this is kind of overkill. I don't think we need to do this.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're being led by a wartime general. He was way ahead of the curve.
It's amazing what Bill did, though. He had the forefront of this back in January. He was talking to us about this prior. And I've talked to some of our customers about this. And of course, you and I, Beth, are like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then it did come to that time. And, anybody who's visited Real Green knows we have 3 different buildings in an office park. Well, we had to branch out to now 180 different locations with all of our employees in a snap of a finger. But due to our leadership team and our other leaders, we've made it happen. I mean, you're talking sales, tech support, print divisions, all of these areas, digital, that were able to take that lift and move it to their houses. So that was an amazing move.
It happened really, really fast. And I didn't pay that much attention because I had an at-home office. I've telecommuted for 28 years.
Absolutely.
To some extent. But in terms of, you had the sales team, it was a finely tooled machine by them. So the way in which they were communicating with customers, doing business development, doing demos even, how much did that change for our sales guys?
It really didn't change at all. But what we were able to look at now, and we always had these tools, if it's GoToMeeting, well, let's, and since we're all doing webinars, more people are doing Zoom, webinars, Hangouts, whatever the case may be. My sales team is shifting more into doing more video meetings with customers and also prospects. It's always nice to see the person that you're talking to. It's nice to go to an office and meet with somebody. Results are much better, but we're trying to turn it more into video conferencing with our customers, and it's working out really well. It really is. It's working out really well. You can demo the product. We can record it. We can send it to the customer so they can see it, what we talked about, and it's worked out very, very well.
Excellent. And the customers, I'm sure, because they now have to schedule time in front of computers, probably even easier to some extent to get scheduled.
It really is. It really is. It is amazing, though, to find out the people who do not have cameras and things like that, but it's very few and far and in between.
So back to the Helping Our Customers and the role that your BDRs played. It was frustrating for me in the 6.5 years I've been there, where we would send out a communication, and it wouldn't be of a marketing type. It would be something very important that our customers should know. And over the years, like many of our customers, the contact information they have might be the accounts payable person, might be the person that does tech support, maybe the owner who called for the demo 7 years ago and doesn't even work in that office anymore. So I know your guys have been reaching out directly to our customers to say, we need the right contact information so that the right people get the right communications. Have we been pretty successful in that effort?
Fairly successful, but we have a lot of work to still do. So, there's a lot of areas that even Linda, our marketing director, when she sends out an email from Bill Noonan and has links in there, you go to our website, you can update those people and we can put it into our database. There's still an awful lot of work to do. We have a lot of customers. We've reached out to them, leave a lot of messages, but the outreach is very, very important. It could be any type of information we're trying to get to the right people. Sometimes it doesn't get to the right person and that message doesn't get passed to who it really needs to get to. And that's what we're really trying to focus. When COVID hit, we really backed off on sales. And like you said, we shifted to helping customers. And, you know, we've came out of that. Not that COVID is ending anytime soon, but people know the messages that we're providing. We're not having the legislation impact that we're trying to help Michigan with, trying to get them back to work, which I think, Beth, you are very instrumental in doing that, in getting us the information and the links and who to go to, and updating our impact page, which was very, very important for our friends in Michigan.
If you were to tell our customers, because they have the same problem, they are spending money on outbound telemarketing campaigns or AMA that might go to the wrong place, how would you coach our customers in updating their contact information?
I would. Anytime that anybody calls in, obviously, that's the best opportunity. Training your CSRs, having scripts sitting right next to their screens at all times. I would even talk to the technicians, make a goal, make a competition of the event to try and get that information inside your databases. I do think it's very important, especially in this time right now. We did provide AMA emails to our customers to communicate with people, and it seems like that went very well. Not all of our customers took advantage of it for COVID, but the majority did, and I've only heard of nothing but great results from that. That is getting better and better. Getting email addresses. You know, when you and I started in the lawn care industry, Beth, they didn't have email addresses. That wasn't that wasn't a thing. Now it's a very important thing to make those a required element as you're making a sale. Get all email addresses, all parties. Do it right out of the gates. It's very important.
And you just reminded me of when I asked you the question, I remembered in 2013 at Scott's Lawn Service, we only had 50% of emails, and we would end every single phone call with, can I update your email address, or can I confirm it, instead of can I have it, because that sounds like a marketing grab.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just update or confirm it, and that was very useful. So that's a very good point. Let's talk about what you've personally been doing in quarantine. You've got a new grandbaby, Luca. He's a doll. And that had to suck, not being at the hospital and then being able to only see him in very limited. So congrats, he's a doll. But what else have you and Tina been up to in quarantine?
Well, Tina is working from home right now, trying to help students in Saginaw County, you know, career development. And she works with the Saginaw ISD. And so her and I are, you know, work close together at home. I reside in my basement. She goes to her upstairs office. We meet in the evening, make dinner. One thing I have become, you know, I was always a pretty good cook, but now I'm almost leaning to a chef at this point. Last night was shrimp linguine, and it was off the charts. I know, Beth, we've had a lot of meals together, and I always pair it with a good wine. So conundrum, people.
Love conundrum. You are a fantastic cook, and you taught me a shortcut on white chicken chili. Yeah. But now I've been picking dishes like that and trying to perfect them. A good white chicken chili starts with a couple of pounds of Monterey Jack cheese, full cream, heavy cream. I know I've gained 10 pounds, but I don't even care because I've enjoyed every single meal that I've had. And on the wine front, I just figured out what Aldi, ALDI, is all about. Oh my, they have wine in their batch. Well, there's Blinking Owl. I haven't tried it yet. It's $2.49. But I bought 16 bottles of wine that are in the $5.99 range. You've got me hooked on Mark West Pinot Noir. It's like $7.99 there. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be hitting up the Aldi again, but been doing
Yeah.
a lot of eating. I know your son, like Annabelle, missed going to graduation. So you've got him at home trying to finish up online.
Yeah, they are. It's very limited. But yeah, my son Carter just graduated from high school, or he is about to, but he's already taking some college classes at the local community college, and he's taking going to be going to MSU maybe in the fall. That's still up in the air if they're going to be having classes or if that's going to be being done remotely. But very proud of Carter. It's been a tough time for him. Since April, since March, he's been home with mom and dad because we've had to quarantine pretty heavily because my grandson being born, because we do want to see him. So we had to stay quarantined. It's been frustrating, but it's been a necessity for us as a family to commit to that. But it's all good. We're going to get through this. We'll be fine. Everybody will be happy. So it'll be good.
It reminds me of when we were going to get a blizzard in the Midwest. You'd run to the grocery, you'd stock up, you'd say, I got wine, I'm going to make Toll House cookies. But that was always a finite period of time. So you gradually have to wrap your head around, hey, Batch, what should I watch after Ozark? Right now, we're watching Michael Jordan's Last Dance, or it is really fun to have Annabelle home, although she's hated missing out on her senior year of college. But the things that we're doing together, we wouldn't have been doing together. And so,
no, absolutely not.
This is a blessing. I have been blessed with 10 weeks of one-on-one time of my house is spotlessly clean and organized. And thank goodness we're going into summer and not going into winter, because the tail of this going into winter would be tough, and that may happen too. But you really do have to shift your mindset. I traveled 48 out of 52 weeks. I love being face to face with our customers, and I've never been home this long. I didn't know what Indiana looked like. We all get used to the UPS guy and the dogs barking. That's
all good.
Part of it.
That's one of the things working from home.
It is. Welcome to working from home. One of the projects that you and I are working on together that I'm very excited about, Coco, knock it off, is building content for Real Green Academy. So you and I would have sat around at lunch in February and said, oh, it'd be cool if we ever had time to do that. Well, we're going to make time because now we are going to be in the office. And, I did a brain dump of 148 items, and Karen and her team are working on a lot of tech support stuff. You're working heavily on the sales stuff and how to bring a different view of our products to customers. So I'm very excited about what we've got on tap for that. Seasonally, it seems like our customers like to add different services. If you don't have the entire suite of services, what would you recommend to our customers as they wind down, even though it's a long spring? Hang on. Coco, stop. Sorry about that. She's so ill-behaved. What products would you recommend?
Very, very well trained. She listens well.
She is. She's so well trained. There's somebody trimming the bushes up front, so it's not good. But what products do you think would be good to add as they wrap up spring?
One of the products, if customers are not using the CAW right now, you should be looking at CAW. It is a portal, especially with COVID, and people want to pay online. They want to pay online. Connect that with RGPP. You're starting to get more and more dashboards that you're able to look at. There's a lot of development happening also with RGPP, Real Green Payment Processing, and our customer assisted website. It's a 24/7 portal, something that all of our customers should be utilizing, because now you have the AMA, automated marketing components, to go with it. Ramping up that after service emails is still our number one email that's going out. It creates sales for our customers. We still have customers that do not have mobile live, If you talk to a customer that's been using Mobile Live for the last 5 years, they will not know how to run their business without it. I have a good friend in the business, Brandon Walsh from Village Green in my hometown of Bay City. And Brandon, I used to actually run that business, and now Brandon's taken over, and he's now using Mobile Live. And every time he adds a new employee, he adds a Mobile Live, he adds a printer in his truck, and it's just part of his functionality on day-to-day basis. And it's just, it's just a product everybody should be using. And another new reason, we just had an update come out on Mobile Live that some people may not even realize. It's something that our customers have been asking for. They want to email invoices right out of Mobile Live. That capability is now there. I actually talked to Brandon, who's a heavy AMA user, and he said he may not use the email portion out of Mobile Live. He likes the automated process, and that'll be an argument with the customers between themselves. Do you do an email out of the tablet, or are you going to do it automatically? So that's a question. Another reason, the update came out, you can now text pre-notify from the mobile device. If they're using tablets, it has to be an email. But if they're using phones, they can actually pre-text their customers, I'm on my way over there too as well. And the estimating portion has improved tremendously. There's a hybrid summary. There's a whole new series of estimating. So if the folks that are using Mobile Live right now that did not see the write-up on the updates on it, they should really be looking at it. Also, SA5, as people start winding down, and if they're still on desktop, it had to be difficult running your business, dialing in if you could not go into the office. Some people did go to their offices still, I get it. But SA5 is the new future. We're not doing any updates in SA4 anymore. SA5 is the future. You are able to log in from anywhere on anything as long as you have internet access. We have a new improved migration process taking you from SA4 to SA5. Excellent training, and it's all about muscle memory. You start using it, the more you start using it, the more natural it is. Yes, it's a new looking software to you, but the workflows are a lot easier to use. There's new features coming out, like if you're using RGPP, you can now refund credit card processing by just pushing a button right inside the history screen, right on the credit card. If you need to refund that for whatever reason, it's made much easier. If you're a lawn maintenance company, we're now developing heavily into the lawn maintenance section with crew adaptions. We're getting to more estimating proposals and job costing as well. Another update that came out is IP security, where you can secure your database by the hours. And what that means is if I'm an employee in the office and I don't want you to sign in at home, I can now secure that sign in that you're not able to do it at home. So some people have been asking us for that. That update has just been released. We actually have a meeting today about the next release, which is coming out next week. And so every couple weeks, every 2 to 3 weeks, there's new updates coming out on SA5, which are very exciting. Right now, we're at the point of where most of it are upgrades to the software, and that's what people have been asking, and that's what we're starting to deliver.
You just said 3 major requests: the emailing out of the app, the IP security, so they can control who's accessing it. What was the third one you just said?
The IP security and the crew lawn maintenance and refund and credit card.
The refund. Oh my gosh.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So clearly the development team's getting a lot done while they're in the quarantine.
Absolutely. Another thing that I think customers should be looking at, or any lawn care operators out there, is revisiting your website. Websites do age after a time, and right now is the time to really, it never goes away. It's like the yellow pages, there's your advertisement. Beth, when you and I were in businesses, we're spending thousands on yellow pages. That's what we did. It's a new world now. And right now in our paid media, just last month, we had average cost for conversions at about $44.06 to be exact. That's huge. That's huge in our industry. So start looking at your website, start looking at your paid media. We have consultants here that'll help you to get it across the finish line. Our digital team in the back end is working very hard. They are building websites, they're setting up paid media. We have 3 affordable packages for different types of companies that we lay out there. A starter package, a standard, and an ultra package that all include review programs, controlling your reviews, my listings, website, some form of SEO. And I do want to mention, and I don't know how big our group is going to be today to hear this, but there's a closed loop marketing feature coming out in late Q2. And what closed loop is, somebody can fill out a form on a website. It's going to update everything right into SA5. Call logs, lead sources, you're going to be able to track it through a command center is what we call it. So you're going to have a nice dashboard to look at how many people opened, how many people filled out forms, all these types of features built in a nice little package. So be on the lookout for closed loop marketing advertising coming out. We're just putting the finishing touches to the dashboard. We've been doing a lot of testing on it, and I was excited to actually say that.
That is we've been talking about closed loop since the day I walked in the door, and to actually be able to launch it in the next couple of weeks is very, very exciting. You talked about revisiting the website. It's probably been 3 years ago, maybe 2017. Someone on Linda Thomas's team mentioned, yeah, you can go, we were sending people off site to get Google certified, but you could also do it for free on Google. And I thought, well, I want to understand it just from the standpoint that when Linda would review the analytics with us, I really just wanted a deeper understanding. So I did the Google certification, and that is something, my friend, that you better stay up on every single month. So if I owned a business, I don't know how you could effectively spend that money, and it's not insignificant if you're doing it wrong, because Google changes the rules so quickly. Even when they turned off reviews and then they turned them back on, those Google reviews are a huge driver to business right now.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and it's not just people looking at it on their laptops, computers. They're going to their tablets, their phones. Everything has got to be responsive. You know, test your websites, look at it, look at your numbers. We are actually doing that for every one of our customers, and we have ways of you being able to track that as well. We make it very simple process. We consult with you all the way through the process to getting the site completed for you to your liking, and then we launch it, and then we start putting it out there. We'll talk to you about paid media. The review section is very important. I buy something every week, I think, online, and I'm constantly looking at the reviews. It's just the normal trend of people nowadays. They're going to look at the reviews of your companies. You might as well try to control those reviews, get the best reviews possible. We have a lot of companies that are successful with my reviews. Very inexpensive product to make part of your web package.
Well, you mentioned Yellow Pages. So if I think back to the late 80s at the source codes that we would look at leads and sales, you had billboards, you had Yellow Pages, you had Advo, but telemarketing for sure. But bricks and mortar is so expensive. So when people say to me digital marketing and SEO and websites are so expensive, are they really? Because think about, you're not spending money on bricks and mortar, you're not putting a big shingle out. And it's just, to me, so interesting that when you get it right, the cost per sale and cost per lead and the awareness can be really reduced.
And it's trackable. You put closed loop, everything is trackable now too. With the Yellow Pages, you're relying on somebody in the office to at least ask, how'd you hear about us? You know, and it would be clicking the Yellow Pages. I remember in a small community, we used to spend $3,500 to $4,000 a month on Yellow Pages. You're hoping somebody picks up a book, opens up the ad and sees it. Now, how are you getting in front of people with your digital marketing campaigns, with your strategies? So that's very important, is your digital marketing campaigns to this date.
Well, there's been this trickle effect of digital marketing prominence in the last few years. But I'll tell you when I had an aha moment, when you and I and Warwick used to travel with Joe Cusick to different cities. Joe Cusick, because he's Joe Cusick, would say, hey guys, well, let's go visit some prospects here. So we'd look in the queue and, oh, hey, we did a demo for this company a few years ago. And then what would we do? We would Google the best lawn care company in Richmond, Virginia. And you'd get the top 10. And these were organic. And Joe would just be, we're driving there right now. We'd get in the car and we would make you drive because Joe would tell you what to do. And you would show up to a P.O. box or somebody who knew how to get the digital right, because they clearly weren't the best lawn care company in Richmond, Virginia. Right. That's probably Virginia Green and Gil Grattan. But wow, were my eyes open to the fact that if you could get that right, you could certainly draw the attention there. And that's true today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ramp up your digital strategies. If you got time to start looking at different, it takes time too. It's not something you just flick a switch. You've got to get it out there, get your strategies out there, get the SEO ramped up, and that's what has to happen. But we're here to help consult with that. That's what we do.
So speaking of consulting and the work you've done for Real Green in the past, we have had a lot of fun and helped a lot of companies with Strike Marketing Gold and Free Marketing Seminar when you went around the world in 10 weeks. And that type of content will certainly look differently this year. But if I had a 7-round chemical lawn care company and I wanted to add another vertical this year, what would your advice to me be?
A mosquito. Number one, right off the top of my head, is mosquito. If you're able to spray, do mosquito treatments in your area, I would highly recommend mosquito. There's some very large mosquito franchises out there, but I'm really starting to see the smaller, I don't even want to call them mom and pops, the independents out there that are really starting to grab hold of mosquito treatments. That is probably number one that I would say. Perimeter pest control, if you're not currently doing that, I think there's a very good market there that think of how wet it's been in Michigan and Indiana so far this spring. We're going to get hit with mosquitoes very hard in Michigan as the temperatures start warming up even this weekend. So mosquito activity is very heavy, and they carry diseases right now, that, we're all aware of that at this time. So the market, I think, is very ripe for that type of service.
I know that you and I had a hunch that the green industry was probably going to be okay when this happened, because we've been in it a long time. And so far, I'm finding wood to knock on, it's been fantastic. But if we were to see some downstream economic consequences to the COVID and unemployment event, have you seen our customers be successful with Real Green's proprietary budget billing?
I have. One company that definitely comes to mind is Blades of Green. They do it the best out of Harwood, Maryland. They do a fantastic job with budget billing. It definitely puts a price out there that their customers can afford. And that's basically what it is. Even if it's a 6 treatment, if you want to lay that out over 12 months, most people can afford that type of service. Budget billing is, I think, is a great advantage. Their software already can do it. People just don't implement it. And that's the challenge. It's start implementing it. Maybe start with your new sales right out of the gates. You put them into budget billing and you put them in auto pay at the same time. So you don't have to take checks. You're not posting checks anymore. It's funny to me to still walk in offices and they got a stack of checks that they're posting. It's just odd to me that that's still a thing when I see other companies that they're almost 100% credit card.
You've also checked the box of audit because you've got the credit card on file too. So absolutely. That's automatic audit.
Automatic audit right there. But budget billing, I think, is a big part of a strategy for customers that they're going to start taking a hold of. We do have webinars on our website. We have it on our realgreen.com/impact. Brian Wart did a fantastic webinar on that. And our tech support can help you along with that as well. So we've got the resources here to assist people with budget billing and how to get it set up, how to utilize it. we just showed it to a company yesterday, and they were very impressed on how it can work. And, Real Green doesn't make any more money because of budget billing. It's just something that's already still in your software right now. My suggestion is to utilize it, because it's definitely an advantage for your customers and yourself to continue servicing to these. You do mention, because of COVID, and it's kind of funny, Beth, I've talked to a lot of customers and in Michigan alike. And, at first, they couldn't start servicing until, at the end of April, early May. But boy, sales has still been good for them. I'm excited to hear that. I've talked to several companies in Michigan and around the country. Rob Turley in Pennsylvania, talked to him a couple weeks ago, and he says it's difficult to keep up with the sales. They've got so many coming in. And it's nice to hear things like that with our customers, our industry, especially going through this pandemic, because there was a slight worry for our customers from Real Green. And that's why immediately, day one, when we were launched to work from home, you and I started, how are we going to help customers? And that's what we did. We launched it. You're doing Facebook Live features, keeping people up to date. And I think it's been fantastic, the messaging that we have done for our industry and our customers alike through realgreen.com/impact.
It's been a good team effort, but
It has.
we have a lot of fun at Real Green. I've saved the most important line of questions for last.
Uh-oh.
Lie to me about college football season.
Oh, that's disappointing. College football season. I'm hearing that and I've heard even prior to the governor, I actually sat in on a webinar that the president of Michigan State said they may be doing football without fans in the stands. So that's unfortunate, with the son now going to a Big Ten school. And my daughter was on the Michigan State dance team. And so I'm pretty familiar with going to a lot of college football games. I go to football games almost every weekend at local universities or at Big Ten universities. I usually attend one a weekend. And it's disappointing. It's very disappointing if that happens.
It is very disappointing.
You can watch it on TV.
I was going to say, it's one of the things I've loved most about Real Green. And when I switched careers, I had a lot going on in my life, and sports was just the universal love language that we could all talk about. We just gather around CJ's. It didn't matter what was going on in the world.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about whether Jim Harbaugh can keep his job after that loss this week. And I'll just be sick and I have a neighbor who plays for IU. He's a starter for football, and he's been told as of today, we will have the season and there will be no fans. But then even as a college athlete, they start talking about the protocols. And, well, if you have a fever, then this is what's going to happen. Well, guess what? People have fevers from sinus infections, and then you're isolating the team. And so nobody knows the answer to any of those questions. All I can tell you is sports is my love language. It distracts me from the real world, and I'll be so sad if this doesn't happen.
It'll be a different world without, it really takes the home field advantage away too, I think. It really does. So
it does. You're right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it takes the home field advantage away. So maybe Indiana can win a couple more games on the road, Beth. I don't know.
It's just like old times. You getting the jabs in here and there. Well, I'm so glad you could join me today, because I know our customers are used to seeing you and I out at a trade show and having a beer with them. We just did that in February. If we would have known in February what we knew today, we'd have stayed out later that night.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. We probably would have stayed out later.
We would have. Well, thanks for joining us today. And everybody who is watching this already knows who you are, but how can they reach out to you if they have a follow-up question?
Reach me at brianb@realgreen.com. I look at my emails all the time, so I'm in front of my computer, especially in this day and age. But reach out to me if you have any questions, if there's any needs that we can help you out with. Be more than happy to assist any way we can.
Great. It was good to see you, friend. I value our friendship. I miss you. I can't wait till we're together at CJ's, tell Tina I said hello. For those of you who have attended Solutions, we got a real bargain in getting her. And those high school kids have access to her all the time. That's just
I
crazy.
know.
Do they
I
know
know.
what they have there?
I don't think so. You know, this is a new position for her there, and she went from one district to the next, but she's making an impact. She's leading a lot of webinars like this. She just did one yesterday for an entire region. So she's doing what she does, you know. People know a lot more than me, trust me.
Tina has a servant's heart, and people like Tina are the reason the Dawkins children made it through college. It wasn't because I was their parent. It was because of people like Tina.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Beth. Thanks for having me on. It was a blast.
All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye now.